Welcome back to the channel. You read that right. Rank 3 Magneto. I took him up today for this Smackdown Omega. I've been wanting to anyways, probably just use this as an excuse, but live server, rank 3, my actual resources, SIG 120 Magneto, and his best in the game friends absolutely crush Smackdown Omega. I got a lot of questions this week about if I think he's good against non-metal champions, and the answer is most definitively yes. And I'm going to show you. And if for some reason he's not, one of his friends most definitely is. Make sure to hit like and subscribe so you can catch all the content. And check out the links in the description for 2 of our earlier videos on Magneto. And also the directions on how to enter yourself in our next subscriber giveaway. Let's get to the show. Alright, there's the team we brought in. Sabretooth, mainly there for synergies. Don't think I used him in a single fight. Omega Red, Doctor Doom, and Red Guardian. 3 of the absolute best champions in this whole game with powerful synergies that improve Magneto and themselves. We're going to go through some of the fights. I really just want to show you Magneto. This is meant to be a showcase for him. And we'll talk a little bit about some tips and tricks on how to deal with this. I didn't think this Smackdown was that bad if you have really amazing options. I'm bringing in R3s and a maxed out Red Guardian, Signature and R5, right? So if you have all of that, this isn't bad. I ended up using, I wrote it down here, 2 team revives and 2 champion revives, and definitely some pots to heal up. So I also had suicides on. I did want to move through this quickly. I wanted to get this video out tonight. But check this out. Squirrel Girl is not metal. 232,000. Now, keep in mind, I want to point it out, I did have a 30% boost on for the fights up until the Mysterio fight, which I think is coming up next. Yeah. And I had put it on earlier because, again, I wanted to move through quickly, and then I realized for the sake of the video, I didn't want to overstate it. I don't want to show too many crazy things because, trust me, it's going to be crazy on its own. We don't need a 30% boost to see it. Mysterio, as we know, is a metal champion. And we're going to get a good look at what an R3 1 sig or 120 sig Magneto will do to a Mysterio. Now, the play is not going to be perfect. That's just, I'm not a perfect player. But it's going to be okay, and I think it's going to give you also a sense of why I think, and I'll go over this more when we do the full review this weekend. I actually think Magneto's signature ability is kind of important. I do think he's quite good without it, but I think it's more than just a nice to have. It's not just icing on top of the cake. I think it provides a lot of protection for him from making mistakes. So if you ever make mistakes, then I think it's important. And it also allows him to play around stun immune or difficult to stun and hold your heavy like that type champions. But you see, we're not that many hits into this fight, and a huge SP2 to end it. Now that was a metal champion, I gotcha. Let's move on. Going to be plenty of non-metal champions. Well, here happens to be one. But this is going to be another fight showcasing what can happen when you do make a mistake, and how well Magneto not only holds up, but still it gives you ways to get into the fight to do your damage. I think it's also important to kind of to show and demonstrate how many champions are metal. Also, you're going to see our health bar is going to go down quite a bit, but I think it's important to keep in mind I have suicides on right now. And I also have willpower on, right? And because of the node building up Warlock's viruses more quickly, we've already got the heal block on. So we're going to be degenning and not healing back up at all. That being said, look at how quickly this fight does go. You know, one of the things this quest really highlighted for me, I had a couple of friends point out, because I was debating back and forth on taking Magneto to R3 or not. And one of the things they said is they feel like he goes so well with Omega Red, right? If the champion is metal or a robot, you use Magneto. And if they're not, you use Omega Red. And I did do that. Omega Red was an absolute MVP along with Magneto in this quest. They just destroyed everything. And the few things they couldn't take care of, Red Guardian finished up for them. The only fights that were really that difficult for this team was the Havoc fight and Invisible Woman. And that's because of the way the node worked, and her AI became very passive when she had the force field up. Okay, this is a fantastic showcase of what is possible with Magneto. We're going against Stealth, who's not only metal, but a hero. So you see he's magnetized. We're getting that those extended blocks, or the parries, I mean. And that's allowing us to really hold our heavy, to build up our power sets. You see I make a mistake, and Magneto doesn't get punished too bad for those mistakes. I think that's really important. It's something that I know I love about champions like Thing, and most definitely about Doom. I don't have to play perfect. 255,000 SP2, only I think 10 hits into the fight. The buildup is not huge. We keep hearing about how you have to get to that SP3. Well, right there, no SP3s. Most of these fights, I don't think we ever build to the SP3. I don't think we ever build to the SP3 in any of them. Now, I get it. Not everyone's going to have an R3 Magneto, but you could probably have an R5 or an R2, right? As time goes on, when you get into the point where you're taking on fights like this. Here he is with a miss counter, right? If they are metal, then all those misses will fail. You see how he can just go in. We can punish. We don't need to knock Gilly 99 down. We just go in, fight her as normally. The parry heavy style works so well. You see the limited amount of damage he's taking on these blocks. he just finishes her off. And keep in mind that 30% boost was off since the start of that Mysterio fight. So none of this is boosted gameplay or boosted fighting. Now, I'm going to show this to you. I debated whether I should or not, but here's the deal. We're going to put this in here. Don't show Kabam. Let's just keep this between us, right? I don't know if this is intentional. I can't even explain this. So if you can explain this, please do. Obviously, Kabam probably either already knows about this or will find out about it. So, that was tongue in cheek. But let's not go making too big of a deal about what we're about to see. Nick Fury is not metal. That was one of the things I thought of. But he is not metal. He is a hero, but he is not metal. As you see, you don't see the magnetized passive or debuff on him. But you do see the heal block we're placing. That's a great example right there where we're able to counter his heavy with our heavy. That's a point where I really think that the awakened ability and the signature level is actually important. So, but I do think that doesn't mean he's not awesome without it, though. But the way I've played it, some of the tough matchups, the versatility that it's allowed. Okay, can anyone explain that? If you're able to explain that to me, I would really appreciate it. I'd love to hear your theories in the comment section. And back to the SIG ability. I do think it's important. I think it allows you to play a bit more aggressively and get the heavy off into fights where you might otherwise not have. Now I'm showing you this fight. You're going to see that Mr. Sinister is not going to be metal. I was very surprised to find that out based on looking at him. And he is also not a hero. And of course, one of the big concerns would be that he'd just be healing up the damage. But because of the amazing synergies that come along from these incredible champions, right? Magic would be one of the champions that gives Magneto a heal block. We're not going to ever throw a special in this whole fight because our power is being drained every time we trigger a buff. So we're never going to be able to throw a special. And this fight's not going to be a 30-second special like the rest of them have, but this is not a hero. This is not a metal champion. We're only going to be parrying and heavying. The longest part of this fight is going to be us baiting this special one right here. He just didn't want to throw it. It was like he wanted to give me an opportunity to talk a little bit more. But he will eventually throw it, trust me. We'll get through this together. Let's support each other through this. Okay. Here he goes. So he's not metal. He's not a hero. We're never even going to be able to throw one of our huge specials. We're not going to be able to build up for that big SP2. We're not going to be able to build up for that huge SP3 that we've all been seeing. We're never going to apply a bleed. Through parry and heavy, we're going to keep him heal blocked. And we're going to get him down. And it's going to be, I think, about 15 more hits, if that. And that synergy with Magic, again, one of the best champions in the game. I think we have it in this fight through Sabretooth, we've all seen the videos on him recently and how fantastic he can be, and then also an amazing synergy partner for Omega Red. If you're fighting a hero champion, that heal block is actually a passive. There's only 2 other champions in the game that can do that, Warlock and Mysterio, both excellent champions. I continue to find new ways to just be astounded by what Magneto and his team can do. And there we are. $19 hits. And then, of course, we've got to show the final boss fight. It's felt so good to get to this point. I thought about healing him up a little bit, and then I was like, I'm just going to be wasting potions. I don't really want to do that. I have already used some. And look at this. Now, Doom is magnetized. He's a metal champion, of course. But look at all the things that are going to get turned off. The huge benefits for Magneto, how hard we're going to be hitting here. Remember that Doom does have that crit resistance, so the SP2 we throw is not going to be nearly as massive as what we've seen from the other ones. But I feel really great about this fight. No Aura of Hazarath. There's a lot of ways you can beat Doom, but he is a tough fight. And Magneto is just taking him to town. And, because it's Doom, I know I could have thrown a special, but I just felt like this fight needed to end with Doom getting slapped. Bam. Magneto did it for us. It just felt right. And here's the crazy part. They're amazing synergy partners too. I think I did take a fight or 2 with Doom over the course of this. I think it was the Captain Marvel movie. So if you have that team, they can go through this really well, especially if you know how to fight Havoc. Omega Red did work pretty well for that, and Omega Red worked well for the Invisible Woman too. So those the fights that I thought were by far the hardest, Omega Red did work well for. If you've been following the channel, you know that I've been chasing Mutant and Mystic. Mutant because I wanted to take up Magneto, which I already did, and I know my alliance, my BG leader, my alliance leader definitely wants me to take up Namor, but I've got my eye on Apocalypse. I got my eye on that guy, and I'm having visions of him making Magneto a horseman and just destroying stuff and having so much fun with it. So I chose the Mutant there. We're starting to build. I think we're barely at like 5,000, so it's going to be a bit there. But I'll be getting Mutant and Mystic every chance I get. And I thought we'd at least stay and open up the reward here. So again, hoping for Mystic or Mutant. Mystic for our Dragon Man hunt or Sorcerer. I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I guess I got to get Dragon Man first, but I have a good feeling about it. Make sure you tune in for those hunts. They're going to be fun. And I think that's Kabam saying like, all right. Rank up your Dragon Man. You're going to get him. This team's incredible. Magneto's incredible. Full review from us, or from this channel, from me, will be coming out this weekend. I'm going to take him through Act 6. I already have been doing that, and it's been going exceptionally well. That's what made me so confident, ranking him up and taking him to rank 3. I think even if the meta somehow changes and he's not as valuable. The running him through the variants in Act 6, and then of course these Summoner Smackdowns, his value is clearly there. And as long as they keep making champions with metal, I don't see this guy falling from the meta at all. So yeah, I can't be more impressed. Thanks for watching. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at VegaGaming583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.